So, being
numb to society / the world around us / being black in America. This is America. Don't get you slipping though.
So our experiences obviously are going to be very different. And just like my experience is very different than my mother. So my mother grew up in the civil rights era. And coincidentally, she's going on a civil rights train tour next week.
For 2 weeks.
About a week and a half.
Too long.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So I can't wait to hear all about that when she comes back. We have to record that.
She don't want to be on camera.
Her experience, because I'm sure she'll have a lot of history to talk about.
Yeah.
But anyway,
this won't be video either.
Being black and being numb to society
and the world around us.
So it's a shame we are not experts. These are just our opinions.
Yes.
And how we feel. How you feel is completely your business.
But don't say, okay.
But these are just our opinions and our feelings.
Some of them will be facts, though. That's just
and we can agree to disagree, all of that. But this is just our take on it today. I love being black.
Wouldn't trade it for the world.
Okay, let me just start there. I love being black. I love my skin color. I love my family. I love black culture.
Just being black is lit.
Just being black. I love how we can do different things with our hair, how we can do different things with our nails, how we can do different things with what we wear, how we talk to each other, the foods that we eat, the seasonings that we use, the cookouts, the traditions, the
dancing,
the cursing,
just being black.
Just being black.
Period. Like,
I love being black. There's never been a time where I have ever said I don't like being black. Never ever.
There was a point in time where I didn't like my skin color, but I never said I wanted to be another race.
Correct.
Or ethnicity or anything like that.
So for me, I grew up in a black neighborhood. There were a few white families on my street, and we all got along. I don't remember any instances of racism. I don't remember any name calling. Like, we had this one couple, Miss Mary and Mr. John. Loved them with all my heart. They were an older white couple. They lived 2 doors down from my mom, and I used to go in their house all the time and help them out, and they would just come outside. And during that time I was coming up, people just come outside, sit on the step, hang out with the neighbors. You know, the kids would be running up and down the street. I went to a predominantly black elementary school, but I went to
my case is cute.
I don't know. It is cute. I meant to tell you that. I don't know if you want to consider my high school predominantly white or if it was equally mixed.
But mixed with just black and white, or like?
Yeah, I can't recall other nationalities. In high school, though, is where I was first called the N-word. I remember where I was. I remember who said it. I remember the context in which he said it, and all of that. And I can't say, I don't remember how I responded, though. I don't remember how anybody around me responded, but I will never forget it because it was the very first time I was ever called the N-word. As far as but I can't say that I ever had experienced any true racism in high school or anything like that. Just him calling me that N-word, I'll never forget. I went to a HBCU, Hampton U, class of 1992. And then when I came out and I went into the workforce, I have always been the minority every place I've ever worked. There have been 1 or 2 of us everywhere I've worked as an adult. And it has never bothered me. And I used to be one of those people that be like, I don't see color. Everybody is everybody. It
used to bug me.
And until I can honestly say, George Floyd.
A lot of 2020 opened a lot of people's eyes.
And not that I didn't realize that I was the only black person. I always knew I was the only black person.
Well, duh.
Right. So it's not like I was like, oh, I don't see it to the point where I'm not going to not be your friend just because you're white or anything like that. Because I had friends that were white. I still have friends that are white. But it was never... So it's not like I never went to work somewhere because I was going to be the only black person. It didn't affect me like that until George Floyd. And it hit me then because at the time where I was working, I was the only black on staff. But everybody was coming to me with questions. Or that was always, the whole thing of, oh, I'm so sorry what happened. Or can you believe what happened last night on the news? What they did to George Floyd was really bad. Yeah, I know. I can't believe they did. Yeah, I know. And I just can't. And then I got tired of being the
Google
sounding board. I got tired of being
everything,
answering the questions. And then even at that time, and when I started at the job that I was at the time, I was the only black person on staff. But then another person came on, another black female, and she came in and started trouble with everybody. So I was like, wait a minute now. Don't be coming in here rocking the boat. And now everybody going to think differently of me at the same time, if that makes sense. And people used to come to me and be like, I said this to so and so and she got upset. Does she have a right to get upset? She has a right to however she feels. For example,
that's crazy.
She what part is crazy?
That they asked, does she have a right to get upset?
Yeah, like, does she have a right to get upset? Would you get upset in this situation? Because, like, for one thing, it was the girl came in with short hair one day and long hair the next. And they asked her, oh, how'd you get your hair like that? And I put a weave in. Would it have bothered me? No. But she was like, how dare you not know? And da-da-da-da. They don't know nothing about weaves and braids.
There's no way.
And again, I'm not justifying it, but I was just like, it probably would not have bothered me that much. But then I also know...
Like, how else would my hair have gone from my neck to my butt overnight?
No,
I'm not mad at, but it's just like...
And again, I guess because I already know that I'm going into with the conversation.
Because it's not like they don't get extensions. And I don't want to say they, like, you people type. But, like, it's not like white people don't get extensions.
No. I'm not saying that they didn't notice and I'm not defending. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they didn't notice a difference. But they're truly asking, what process did you take?
No, they said, oh, how did you... No. Okay. It'd be the wording.
Maybe it's the wording,
It'd be the wording that they use.
Mm-hmm.
But then sometimes I feel like a lot of white people want to play dumb.
True. I get that. But it's literally like it. But I think because, like, for me with getting my hair done,
because me personally, I'm just not that much of a confrontational person,
right?
And I'm not gonna make it a big deal at work. But it probably would have bothered me a little too. Well, I've had those questions. Like, I'll have braids in and then I'll take them out, and people are like, "Oh, did you cut your hair?"
But again, I think it's not a matter of bother me.
But
it's a matter of
really not know. I think to me, I'm just like, are they for real or do they really not know?
Sometimes they used to be like, oh wow, your hair grew. Like one time somebody said something, oh why your hair grew? Like, girl, please.
Don't ask.
This is a long time ago. But even like this with getting my hair done, I knew I needed to get it done in advance to me going back to work so that I can get used to it before people now come at me with questions.
It's literally a mental thing. Like, you really have to mentally prepare yourself as a black woman or a black man. As a black person, when you get a new style and you work in a predominantly white space, you have to prepare yourself. Okay, when I go into work, I might get all these questions. Some may be ignorant. Like, it really do be a mental process that you have to put yourself through, especially given the type of white people that you work with. And I feel like white people are so oblivious to that. They don't even know half of the things that we think about, that we go through, because they never, ever have to experience it. And I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing. Like, I'd rather be on this side than that side.
Right.
But it's just like, it's our culture, it's what we grew up doing. So you would think, like, what are you talking about? Why wouldn't you know this? But sometimes I just be like, there's no way you're that stupid.
And I don't think stupid is even the word. It's ignorant.
No, they're that ignorant. So I don't even.
So ignorant to the point where you don't have enough knowledge to know.
There's no way you're that dumb that you didn't know that. You're being ignorant. You're not dumb. You're ignorant. Like there's no way you're that dumb. Mm-hmm. You're being ignorant.
Yeah. So
when it comes to the hair thing, like sometimes there's stuff. It's like okay, you genuinely may not. Now some ignorance is bliss. Is that the saying?
Yeah. Ignorance
does that mean like
bliss.
they're
ignorance meaning like they're innocently asking. Bliss is happy. Ignorance is bliss. Sometimes when you don't know, you're happy to not know. So I don't think that's what's
like I feel like some people really don't know,
right?
But it still comes off arrogant. I mean ignorant. But just like dang, you're so into your white privilege, you don't even know how that sounded coming out your mouth.
Correct. Yeah. I don't think that's ignorant is bliss. Don't ask me why when we use that, but no. So I went to and I've been.
But yeah, you were talking about your hair.
Minority person. I was using that as an example of how you have to prepare yourself sometimes to go into situations when you're the only black person in this situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I still work in where I work at now.
Way more diverse.
It's been the most diverse environment that I've ever worked in.
And you're still the only black person in your classroom.
Yeah, but not on my floor. Mm-hmm. And not as a whole. And even when you go downstairs. Yeah. So, and the head of school is black, which I really love. Like, that was a selling point for me going to where I was. And it's just really...
Because the school is also a private school. Mm-hmm. So normally when you think private school, you know...
Right.
You
and
tend
it is
to think
very
that it
well
is
diverse
predominantly
in
white.
school.
That's what I be telling everybody. I'm like, for this to be a private school and for it to cost so much, mm-hmm. It is very diverse. Yes. Like staff, kids, everything.
And it's great to see. It's a blessing to see the diversity that they have in this school, and it's a blessing to see the activities that they have, mm-hmm. the inclusion that they have. When he gave his meeting in the fall, it was like, we're not playing here. Like, this is what's going to happen, and people support it. So I really like it a lot. So and then my friends that I hang out with, not that I hang out with, but that I socialize with, they're also mixed. So I'm not in a world where
somebody work.
I'm only black. No, even when I hang out, when I go to happy hours and stuff like that, the group of people that I hang out with.
Oh, not their mix. Like the group is mixed.
The group is mixed. Yeah.
I was like, who is mixed?
So being black is very important to me, and I respect it. I respect the culture. But there are just some things where it can be exhausting. I was going back to, I didn't really feel it until the George Floyd era.
Before we talk about that, though, can I tell my growing up?
Yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to say. But go ahead. Yeah.
So, I grew up mainly Philadelphia as a whole is very diverse. Like, Philadelphia is a very diverse city. It still has except, like...
neighborhoods.
Yeah. Like, the white people are normally, like...
Don't say specifically because we don't know as a whole.
Okay, yeah. So, most of my... I don't know. I don't want to say most. I feel like mine has been equal. I feel like my school experience wasn't majority black or majority diverse. It's like right in the middle. Like I either went to a diverse school or I went to a majority black school, predominantly black school.
Okay.
Because the first elementary school, the private one, predominantly black. Mm-hmm. Then after that shut down, the second one, diverse. Mm-hmm. Then middle school, predominantly black. Mm-hmm. High school, diverse. Mm-hmm. College, mostly black.
HBCU. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and then the areas we lived in, kind of the same thing, was either diverse or predominantly black. Mm-hmm.
The area that you live in now, what would you call it?
I don't know, because it's hard now because everything's gentrified.
It's changing, yeah.
So...
But I wouldn't even say that, because since we've been here, though...
Gentrification has been, like, for the past 5, 6, 7 years.
I think we're in a mixed neighborhood. I think we've always been in a mixed neighborhood.
Not my area.
No, this neighborhood. Right now, where we're living in right now.
Yeah, I think it's pretty mixed.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But then I don't know, because, I mean, when I walk out the house, the main people I see are black. But there are white people next door over there. There's white people on that street there. But, like, when I walk out the house every day, I mainly see black people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's because we live across the street from there. And I feel like that's predominantly black. So it's weird. That's why I was like, I don't know, because more white people are moving in, but yet everybody I see is black for the most part.
It's true.
It's weird.
I think when we go closer to the shopping areas.
Well, if you go that way, it's more diverse. If you go that way, it's black.
Yeah. But I don't know. I see more of them in the grocery store. I don't mean to say more of them. I see more
white people in the grocery store. Like this one?
Yeah.
Because people are moving into this neighborhood.
That's what I'm saying.
The closest grocery store.
Yeah. So
but it is very black.
It is changing. And you want to say it's slowly changing, but there are days it's like, oh.
Sometimes it be catching me. I'm like, well, this was how they feel when we in their neighborhoods, because that caught me a little off guard.
So it is changing.
But I've always kind of been a little pro-black type of girl. I mean, I was into my pro-blackness before COVID and 2020 and all that. Like, once I got to high school, like the end of high school, beginning of college is when I stepped into that. I'm not like crazy pro-black, but I'm definitely pro-black for sure.
And I'm not saying I'm not pro-black.
No, but you know what people you know what type of people you think of when you think of pro-black, like power to the people, Black Panther, good morning my sister, my brother, Grand Rising. Like I'm not all that.
Okay.
But you know, like I was pretty much like, because I used to get, I don't want to say I feel like we used to debate sometimes about stuff.
And that's just because I play devil's advocate so much.
She does, and sometimes
I just want everybody to get along.
So are you sticking up for them? Because at the end of the day, whether they are right, you over here, so you need to be with us.
And it wasn't that I was sticking. I just want everybody to get along, and I play devil's advocate so bad. And then, the other part of this was being numb. Because, like, when my mom was telling us yesterday about a shooting that occurred at a Juneteenth celebration, and then a shooting occurred at a high school graduation, and the first thing I always ask is, were they black? It's such a shame to have to ask that question, and only because I'm like, come on, and not saying that it's just black people shooting them up in the world, but I hate that it's only, or majority of the evil that they're showing on TV is by the hands of black people. Or
they react worse when it is a black person.
Correct.
Like the number one terrorist in America isn't a white man.
Because you know how they had that shooting at, or that incident that happened at Finley? With all the people in the middle of the street, jumping on the cars and everything. They just had that same type of incident happen at Urban Air out in the county.
But black people?
Whites. And that was nowhere on the news. Nowhere. And the same kind of incident happened with the same age group and everything of white kids, and never made it to anybody's social media, nothing. So how
not
everybody...
even on the news.
No. And not that I think this was on the news. I think it was on people's...
Well, ours was on at least Philadelphia news.
Oh, I saw it on social media.
Yeah, but I think it was on the news too.
Oh, okay. But that didn't make it on the news at all. So again, it's like we're always being portrayed on the news. And then I noticed too that some of these newscasters, which is another reason why I don't watch news as much, I don't like the words that are coming out of their mouths, because the one guy that I watch on Fox, he's always calling them thugs.
Watch Fox, you should know that.
Well, Alex Howley's on there and she's black.
She is, and we like her, but we will support her from a distance.
Right. And the one reporter on there is always saying thugs. He's always calling them thugs. And then, you know how a lot of times, like, some of these kids just need a hug. Some of them just need a hug. They're coming from environments where they aren't... I'm not here to debate all that. But anyway, I just hate that that's all we see on the news. And it's not that I don't want to know what's happening. I'm just tired of seeing us be put down and talked about, and just the negative images and all of that, because there is so much beauty in our culture, and there's so many beautiful things that are happening in our city with our people that they don't put on the news. Mm-hmm. And then I noticed too, on that same station, the weatherman, he always has this he advertises from different establishments. Not one establishment does he ever do is black.
Fox. Now, if you know, most people know that Fox is, they're
and I think I also like them because a lot of their stories that they do are always not just news. They interview, like when the Roots picnic was here, they interviewed the Roots. They interview people that came. So they also do a different, like they give you the headlines, but then they also do different things. Like if it's cheesesteak day, they're going to bring in the top cheesesteak people.
But other stations do that.
Yeah, but they do it more than I think some of the other stations do.
I don't watch the news like that, so I can't say. But the thing that I don't like the most is the selective outrage. Who said that? Chris Rock. But I don't like the selective outrage, like when it comes to black people, because like I said, I feel like people drag out more or want to become more upset because a black person did it, and then they try to make it seem like we're excusing the behavior, and that's never the case. It be the fact that Johnny just did it yesterday, and y'all was like, oh, let's check on his mental health. He's just a kid. But then when Daquan do it today, now everybody's like, oh, he's a thug. He don't got no home training. He's an animal. He's an N-word. Like, where was this energy for Johnny yesterday, who did the same thing, if not worse?
Yeah.
That's what I don't like. And I hate when they try to act like that's not what we're saying. Like, especially with the whole Black Lives Matter movement. Since when did we say all lives didn't matter? Mm-hmm. When did we ever say that? Because we didn't. It's that Black Lives Matter too. They just didn't put
Black
the two.
Lives Matter too, right?
But Black lives were getting taken away so badly by the cops. It seemed like people was forgetting that Black Lives Matter. So we had to let y'all know, Black Lives Matter. Like, because y'all acting like they don't.
And I wonder how much of a difference it would have made if the slogan was Black Lives Matter too, TOO.
Because just like the Me Too movement, they talk about that.
And it's like, racism to me will never ever die. Never. Amongst different cultures, within your cultures, it's never ever going to die, unfortunately.
Well, in the black community, we can't be racist. Really? No. This is educational. If you are not white, you technically cannot be racist, because by definition, racism is, you basically have to be the superior group in order to be racist. Okay. We're not a superior group.
So there's prejudice within the culture.
It's prejudice, but it's not racism. Okay. And there's colorism as well. Yeah. But like a black person cannot be racist to a white person. You could be prejudiced, but you could never be racist, because they'll always be the superior group. I think the superior is the right word. Basically, like, they're the majority and we're the minority, so it's like you can't, it's not like you can outnumber them for it. Although, by 2050.
Right. Things could change. And our opinions differ sometimes, as they should, because we're different generations. Just like my mother and my opinions and my views and my mother's views differ. And then there's differences versus our views versus my brother and my nephew's views, because that's them men versus women. So our views, sometimes we do debate. We do disagree on some things, because this generation is, I don't want to say you're more woke, but I think you guys are more, you're more, we went along to get along. You guys don't feel like you have to get along.
My people is saying bring back segregation. That's what they're saying. They don't even want to do integrate no more. They said bring back segregation. They said put us back in the schools where it's all black people. They said we don't want to be with them no more. They are not playing. Yeah, like, so they want to go back to the 70s.
I pray to God that we don't go back to a world where black people cannot be free, or black people are
because it's getting crazy
enslaved, and black people can't learn, and black people can't, because They trying to take away everything that we have. Everything. Our education, our history, our whatever. So that's why it's important for me now to keep her abreast. Well, she's older now, but we have to make sure we keep our black culture alive within our culture, because other people aren't going to do it for us, because they're trying to take so much away from non-whites. I'm sorry, I just have to say it.
It's true. If you're
They're trying to take everything away from non-whites, because now it's the blacks, now it's the LGBTQIA world rights are trying to be taken away. Like the non-white people, everyone is trying to take their rights away in some shape, form, or fashion.
Excluding the white gay people, because they're white, but if you're a part of LGBTQ, they try to take your rights away too. But then you're still white, so you benefit from the. It's too much.
It's levels to everything. But I just pray that this is. Just a bad couple of years that we're going through.
Me too.
And that hatred will dissolve and evaporate. And I know there will always be hatred in the world, but it is so prevalent right now in America. And it is just like, because, for a while it was like, so we going to Canada, or we about to find some other country. We going to Hungary or somewhere,
I would
because
definitely move to Canada.
We can't be here.
But then we go to other countries
anymore.
And everybody thinks we're dumb and stupid, which we are. But it's like, dang, well, at least
we're not dumb nor stupid.
That's what people think of Americans.
Okay, but you said, but we are, but we're not.
I mean, we're
a joke because of the people who run this country.
We a little, a little bit sometimes.
But I just pray that by the time my grandchildren.
Me.
Yeah, I just pray that the world does not continue the way that the world is going, because if the world continues the way if America continues the way America is going, I can't speak for other countries because I don't live there, but if America keeps going the way America is going,
especially if y'all let that man come back in office,
it's not going to be pretty.
If he's able to run.
And just I feel as though it got worse when that person started in office. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, for sure.
But
please don't vote for that man just because he gave y'all a little stimmy check. The agenda is way bigger than the money.
I just pray that the world just gets better, and I pray for all lives. I pray. For sure. Every day I pray, like, let's just make the world a better place. That was part of
Make it a better place.
Hands across, what's it called? We are the world. Yes. Like, let's just make it a better place. Like, everybody got that. There's enough room in America for everybody to do what they want to do. Don't worry about what I'm doing over here with me and mine. Just worry about what you're doing with you and yours.
My thing is, why are y'all so scared to progress? Like, we were progressing at least. I mean, of course, racism was always there, but like, no, because y'all fooled me, America, the government. Because when I was little, I really thought racism was not a thing. I thought the 60s was like 5,000 years ago, the way y'all would talk about it. And it was not that long ago. Even today, it was not that long ago. And when I got older, honestly, when, the president before this one, right? Yeah.
Barack Obama.
No, the president before this one. The president before Biden was not Obama.
Oh, right. Sorry. See, I don't even acknowledge him.
Right. But I feel like things got worse when he got in office, and that's when things, like, my eyes started to open, like, wait, what is going on? Mm-hmm. Like, why did y'all trick us in school? Like, that's messed up. Mm-hmm. Y'all are sick. Mm-hmm. Y'all are sick. And it's why you have to teach your kids at home what's really going on, especially nowadays, because they're not even teaching the curriculum that I probably learned. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. And I ain't learned much. Let's keep it.
Have you ever been called the N-word?
By a white person? Mm-hmm. Not to my face. No. Mm-hmm. I personally have not had many racist encounters either.
Obvious.
Yeah, obvious.
People follow you around the store. Have you ever seen anybody follow you around the store?
I mean, not to my knowledge, but I'm not surprised if it has happened.
But it hasn't been obvious to you. So that's good.
Not that, but other things, yeah.
What did you just say? You've never had it?
I haven't had that many racist encounters.
Directly. Oh, okay, I got you.
Like, encounters would mean, like, I've been aware of it. But I have. But also, we also are in a city, and we're up north. I do feel like that makes a difference.
You remember the guy called me the N-word out here?
Right after he got elected. He gave y'all powers.
Yep.
He didn't give y'all powers. Y'all was like that all along.
And it was like, where did he come from? Like, he ain't in this neighborhood.
He probably just round around black neighborhoods calling people the N-word. Because he had nothing better to do with his bum behind life.
It was crazy. So, y'all, just love one another and be kind to one another. Just be kind. Mind your business.
That part, please. Because that's exactly what I was about to say.
If you can't love on one another and you can't be kind on one another, just mind your business.
If you don't agree with somebody's lifestyle, mind your business.
And take care of you and yours before you go start passing judgment on other people.
Okay, because a lot of... Child.
Like, we just gotta worry about ours. It's like, I've been telling people for years. They be like, why so... I worry about me and mine. Me and mine. I can't be worried about what Bob and Joe are doing across the street. I just got to make sure me and mine are protected. And that's it. And that's all we can do.
But still stay educated and don't back down.
Right.
And be smart when it comes to these elections. And vote, please. Because some people think voting doesn't work. And then y'all be mad when the people that get in office are in office.
But you know, one thing I've also noticed over the last couple of years too, because I was never really into it, that the presidency vote matters, but also your neighborhood, your city votes matter. So the mayor, the judges, all of that. State. So I also have to be more diligent on learning about the people who are running for offices.
Yeah, but you have been voting.
No, I do vote. I've always voted.
No, you didn't always do the small elections.
That's true. I used to only do presidential.
Because you only really started doing them once I said, like, oh, we should. Because my first time voting was not a presidential election. It was for, like, governor or something in Virginia. But my school made a big deal about it.
And I think because you were doing it, it was like, oh, well, maybe I should become a little bit more in tune.
Yeah, my school made a really big deal about it. Like, everybody was voting. They had buses take us to the voting polls so that we could vote. And this was just for one of the state elections. So, and then 2020 was my first.
I think the violence now in the city has become more and more so within the last few years on such a bigger scale. But it's like, all right, y'all, who are these judges? Like, now it's like,
yeah, like
I guess you could make it sound like it's hitting closer to home, I guess. So it's like, let's worry about.
I mean, the violence here always been.
What's going on here, but yeah. So you got to vote, you got to be aware, and just, mind your business, but just try to be kind to people.
And stop being so judgy.
Please. Short temper. Stop being in a rush to go everywhere. There's a whole bunch of stuff I can say, but it's tough times we're going through right now, and I just pray that it gets better before it gets too worse. That's all. And again, these are just our opinions. These are just our feelings. This is just how we are. We're not speaking for the entire race as a whole. This is just how a mama and a daughter feel. Right, and that's it. So, thank you so much for watching. Happy Juneteenth. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, review, post, share, and all that good stuff. And until next time, bye.
Bye.